Hi, Kamille. Welcome. Welcome to the Habit Queen podcast. I am so honored and excited to have you here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Anya. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you and meet you.
Yes, and I'm excited what we're going to talk about it. Hint, hint, we're going to talk about some things today. But I always have a kind name behind the scenes for my podcast guests, because when I get to know them, there's this intuitive pull for me to give them a little name. So my name for you, a nickname for you, is a connector. And one of the things I did want to talk about, how you do this amazing job connecting women, creating events, and many other hats that you're wearing. But before we do, I would love you to tell us about your story. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you for having me on. Super excited to be here. And let's get into it. So I've been an entrepreneur for about 7 years now. I actually graduated my master's in exercise science, exercise physiology, as well as a minor in nutrition when I got my undergrad. And I actually got accepted to my doctorate of physical therapy. And I was about to go be a doctor, go to school, do all the things that I thought I was supposed to do. And there was just this aha moment. And of course, there was lots that went into that, but I won't dive into that right now. But that I was like, this is what I thought I was supposed to do, but this is not really what I wanted to do. And during school, I was personal training to pay for school, all of that stuff after soccer had ended. And I loved it. I loved it. I didn't like working for a corporate gym, but I loved what I was doing. I loved seeing the transformations. I loved seeing mostly worked with women, seeing them just transform, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And that was such a big thing for me. And so out of college, even though I was supposed to go to my doctorate, my family was very happy. I decided to start my own business. I had $192 in the bank account, a low limit credit card, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I found a space near where I live now and rented it out and decided to just start going out there, putting myself on social media, getting on like local, like next door apps and stuff like that, and building my business. And within 6 months, I was booked out, had people on waiting lists, and started hiring trainers underneath me. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I hit a 6-figure business. I was, hitting 10K months within my first, 6 months of business. It was awesome. But during that time, I ran myself into the ground. I ran hard. I was all about business. I was working 14-hour days. I barely spent time at home because I'd work on the weekends too. So it just felt like my business was running me and I wasn't running my business. And also during that process, I realized I felt so alone. Like I had no one around me that I could go to, like other trainers or other business owners. Like the industry felt very secluded. Like it was about how you looked and how much money you made. And I didn't feel very supported by other people. So fast forward 2019, I sold that business and I took a good chunk of that money and invested in a coach to go online. And I actually went to an event. So within 1 month, I actually got married, went on my honeymoon, went to a women's event, and started a different business as well as sold my business all in like 1 month of it. So I was a little crazy. As you guys can tell, I'm very high energy. So it worked out for me. I need to go. But I went to that women's event and it was an entrepreneur event and it changed my life. Like I just saw women supporting each other that didn't even know each other, resting their heads and crying on each other, like just this crazy atmosphere of females supporting females. And I was like, wow, like this is a whole nother world. So after I sold my business, I invested in a coach and I started my online coaching business. That's where I kind of first started. I did one-on-one coaching, I did group coaching, and yeah, I mean, I loved it. All I wanted to do was help these other women realize that they weren't alone. Like I just wanted them to not feel the way that I felt, even though I had this amazing business that looked amazing to everyone else. I felt so alone and like secluded and burnt out, and I didn't know who to talk to, and I didn't want anyone else in business to ever feel like that. So that was my goal. Is just building communities for people, getting them to understand that there's so many other women out there looking to support each other, how we could help each other, and different ways that we could connect in order to build our businesses together and separately, but knowing that we always had that support. So yeah, and then obviously leading to today, I now help curate events as well as create my own events. And I'm all about just building communities. That's really what I do. I don't do so much one-on-one coaching anymore, but I still, love my clients and I still love working with people. As long as I can find them a good fit, even if I'm not the coach for them, that is what's most important to me. So yeah, long story short, right? I just kind of gave you my whole gist of my entrepreneur career, but that's where I'm at now.
That's amazing. And I feel like there's so much to unpack, and I'm going to just dive into the most important thing that I heard from you is the fact that you felt alone in the journey that was successful on the surface, but you felt alone. And when we feel alone, we're not kind of 100% happy. So you went out of your way in a way to, people probably thought you were crazy to give that business up. Right.
After leaving my doctorate and then doing that, yeah, people are probably like, what is wrong with this woman?
Nothing is wrong with you, because you've done such an outstanding job putting it together, following your gut and following the pain point that you had. And now you help women. How do you help? What kind of events do you host right now to help women?
Yeah, so right now I host female entrepreneur events. When I first started, it was a lot for women that were aspiring or new in business. Now, as we've progressed, we work with women that are in their first 2 to 5 years usually, or a little bit more, to actually up level their business. But we're always open to helping anyone that comes in, even if they are newer in business. If they want to learn and they're ready to take that next step, then we are here for them. But yeah, it's all about connection. Yes, the personal development there, the business growth is there, but it's really a lot about finding their people in order to up level in business.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like that personal development piece also was so important to you. I wonder what was the biggest moments. You said the solitude that you felt, the experience you don't want others to experience. What any other big aha moments on this wild journey that you've had?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, of course, a lot of people will say, well, that's business. You have to go at it alone. And I want to say that the biggest businesses out there all have teams of people and people that they can trust in order to grow. You cannot do this alone. That's just one thing I want to say to people, because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, well, you were doing so well by yourself. I said, yeah, but look what it did to me on the inside. I wasn't happy. I wasn't present in my life, all those different things. So those were other moments, I think, as I, went to this event and I started building my business, that I was taking time to step away from my business and realize I need to be present, at home with my husband. I need to take care of myself and put myself as a priority in that business, that 6-figure, what looked amazing business. There was days that I wouldn't pee for 7 hours because I was so busy with clients and so busy with things, and I wouldn't even eat. I'm in a fitness business. I'm telling people how to take care of their lives, but I'm not taking care of myself. So again, these were moments where I was like, when I started my next business, I was like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to prioritize myself. And so obviously I worked with a lot of different people. I had two different coaches, one that was more in the spiritual realm, and then one that was more business coach for online coaches. And I wanted to open that up. And I needed those moments to say, when I started working really hard and not really paying attention to myself, nope, Kamille, stop. You need to take a break. You need to go eat. You need to go walk or work out or whatever it is, the things that were important to me before I ran a business. And I say that in quotations because that is the difference.
And I think you're talking about something so common. I hope you have time to pee now. I hope you do.
All the time.
I feel like, because I've been in the shoes before. First 3 years out of 5 in business, I was just all in, and that can destroy your relationship, give you to get to burnout, to the point of burnout. You can be asocial or just so much in your bubble. And I feel like we're not sharing because it's such in a way, glamorous side that shows up online. Many women don't have this space or option to know that, hey, there's another human out there. She's also struggling this morning with an Instagram post, or she had a breakdown because her baby spilled milk or something like that. So it's realistic, raw, real, vulnerable. And I think that's what you do so well as well. You just decided to get out of your way, to get out of your own way and get more comfortable with this idea of helping others and get them together and fire them up together, and just so they feel supported. Because especially in the last 2 years, let's be honest, who did not feel alone?
Yeah. Right. I think these last 2 years don't count, but yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel what do you think women are missing when they start those high, even though they can be entrepreneurs? I know some of my listeners are also just highly driven women with I call them women on a mission, and they just get themselves to work and they don't stop and they forget about anything else. And they're like, oops, I'm stressed, but that's okay. I just have to push through because everything's on me. I'm going to take a break. Everything's going to fall apart. What do you think women are missing when they are pursuing their passions so heavily?
Yeah, I think what you just said too, that everything's going to fall apart. I had that thought process. I take a break, I walk away for the rest of the day, that everything's going to fall apart. And the same problem that was there yesterday is going to be there the next morning. And if you fix it the next morning with a more clear mind, a better thought process, your mindset is just better. Maybe you just were tired and rested, and you needed that sleep during the night to make a better decision in the morning. So I just want to say that, because I used to think the same thing. Like, if I don't get this done, my whole business is going to blow up on me. And that is not true. It is not true, because sometimes we make decisions based on the anxiety and the stress we're feeling, and they're not even the best decisions for our business, because we're so tired, or we're so burnt out, or we're so go, go, go. And that hustle mentality is such a big thing that we see in the entrepreneur industry. And I want to promise you that if you talk to some of the top entrepreneurs, one of my clients, she's a multimillionaire that I do her events for her, and she takes a flex week every month. She takes 5 months off of the year, you guys. December, she does not work at all. Not one day she turns off. She removes chat apps from her phone so that she doesn't. That's why she's a multimillionaire, because she has prioritized herself. She has prioritized her family. She has prioritized what matters. And because of that, when she does work, it's so much more productive. She is full of creativity. She's full of things to do. She can run her team properly. She can show her team how it can be done both ways as well. And that, to me, is so much more powerful. And women like that, and being in the presence of women like that, really show me why prioritizing myself is so important.
Yeah. So not only I hear you saying that not only self-care became so much more important, but the whole idea that we don't have to run ourselves into the ground with a hustle culture to be successful, to make multiple figures, to have it all. And, I personally talk a lot about having it all. I see women who the stress just killing their bodies and minds. And I've had at least 5 people in my feed, or my closer circle, like not first very close circle, but second circle, quitting their businesses because they couldn't handle it last year alone. So it is sad and it's heartbreaking, because they did have the tools. And I love that you are creating that beautiful connection. So I'm curious to ask you, why do you think connection matters so much? And what habits pertaining to connection can be beneficial to someone who's listening right now thinking, oh, shoot, this is me just running myself into the ground?
Yeah, so it definitely, like I said about my old business, I isolated people. Even though I felt alone at some point, it took a while to realize I was alone. I isolated people. I was on the go. I felt like I didn't need any friends. I didn't need any of that. And you need to get out of that mindset, first of all, because thinking that you're going to do it alone, like I said, is not going to, it might work for a while. You might see your business do well for a while, but at some point you're going to have to, and when I say community, I mean every person around you. Maybe it's that biz friend, but maybe it's that VA, or maybe it's that coach. These are all people that are different aspects of your community, and they all have something that touches you in a different way. So you're not going to hire the right coach if you don't know you need it, or you won't open yourself up to the idea of what you need. You're going to have bad VAs come in and out because you don't know what you need from that VA, because you haven't opened yourself up to that connection and figuring out who's a good person and a good fit. Same with that biz friend. It's about opening yourself up. So for me, I was very closed off. I didn't think I needed anyone. I was, doing so well, and I was looking so well. I didn't really I'd go to expos and not really be friends with anyone. Yeah, I would follow each other on Instagram, and after that I would never speak to them again. Now I open myself up. Every event I go to, every time I meet someone, I'm like, let's follow each other. Let's talk to each other. What are you doing next week? Let's jump on a chat. Those are the things you have to open yourself up. Another thing that I have seen is that when you see things, if your business is doing well, we think that there's nothing really to change. And there's always something that can change. So my biz partner and one of my really good friends, she lives in Australia, only met her once in person, lives in Australia. I've been friends with her now for 5 years, and I don't know where I would be in business without her. And the reason is she's so different than me. She is so calm. She's a spiritual coach. She's a Reiki healer. She's that yoga master, always in the Zen, that kind of person. I needed that. I needed that in my life, because guess what? I am a high strung person. I am high energy. I am someone that is up, and go, go, go. And to have someone that comes in and talks to me and tells me, well, why don't you think about it in this way? where I'm always thinking headstrong and she's always thinking back through her heart and her intuition. Well, why don't you just lean into this? Why don't you just do, and sometimes she would just like knock me on my, like my ass of like, what am I, sorry, I don't know if you can cuss on your podcast, but like, she would just knock me on my butt, like making me think like, why am I overthinking this? Like, why am I not just, I want it. My heart tells me, yes, go for it. Like, so having a different thought process in it is also an amazing, and you won't get that. Yeah. They always say if you get an outside look, it's way better, right? You need that outside perspective. And that's what you get by surrounding yourself with different people as well that have that thought process, that have that like-mindedness.
Yeah. And it sounds like you find the yin for your yang. And for, I feel like I can so resonate with you because I found my business bestie 2 years ago, and I don't think there's been a day when we haven't talked business of life. And that's everything. And also for a long time, I also struggled thinking that I can't tell anybody about my struggles. No, I can't share that my marketing strategy is not working. God forbid, I'm going to say that I don't have a client this month. Oh my goodness. I need to just go shut myself in a closet like Moira Rose and just cry myself. Right. But I think once we do, and that what I hear you saying, it's so important to build that habit of reaching out, even if you're an introvert. I'm an introvert. It has to be on my terms, right? But I feel like your extroverted energy in a way might be easier, but having the habit of reaching out, connecting, asking, sharing. So how do you do that? How did you start? Let's just tap into that real quick, because how did you start? Because that might be uncomfortable.
I want to tell you that I seem extroverted. I'm extroverted when I get to be in my own space. So here in my office, my room, by myself, maybe around people that I'm really comfortable, I've known with for years and years, or my family, I'm extroverted. When it comes to other people, let me tell you that first event that I talked about earlier that I went to, I didn't talk to a single person the first day. I went to bed the moment I went and sat in my hotel room for lunch. I went and sat in my hotel room right after everyone was going to dinner, hanging out with each other. I went straight to my hotel room and hid in my hotel room, got in my pajamas, and stayed in there for the night. That is how I am around groups or new people. So I just want you guys to get that just because I'm extroverted in a certain way, I'm actually somewhat introverted. I don't know what you want to say, but I'm somewhat introverted when it comes to new situations. So becoming vulnerable and talking to new people is really hard for me. I have one best friend. That's it. I don't connect with people that easily. And it seems hard, or seems like how does she do it then? And you know what, again, this is the personal development that I have gone through, is realizing that I'm only hurting myself by not opening myself up to these people, by not allowing everyone to come in. And it's not like you have to, from the beginning, tell us the first person you talk to your life story, but connecting with them, having a chat with them, and seeing where that goes is exactly what I did with Lauren, who is my business partner and my biz bestie. I actually talked to her for like 10 minutes at the event. We barely knew each other. And I just reached out to her and said, you know what, I liked you and I would love to chat with you more. And we got in a coffee chat. And from there, we realized, like you said, my yin to my yang of who I am. But if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't just given myself that one moment of vulnerability, then I wouldn't have that person 5 years later that has gotten me through a lot of ups and downs in my business. So I know it seems really hard, and I know it can be scary. Like, it's vulnerable. You're being vulnerable to someone you have no idea. But I just want to say, like, if they say no, or if they don't show any interest, then screw them. So what? You didn't lose out. You didn't they lost out. If anything, they didn't get to know you and they lost out. So I know for most people, they'll say like, I seem like, oh, it's so easy for me. It's not.
It's not. I think it's hard for everyone, it's like on a certain level, maybe there are people who just like second nature to them. Right. But I can you imagine what your life would be if you didn't meet her right now? It's insane.
No.
It's
no.
totally
No.
So I'm so glad you found her. I'm so glad you have her. What helped you also? What kind of mindset habits or shifts that you noticed that have been helpful for you to keep getting vulnerable, opening it up, speaking up? Because public speaking is scary. Other people are also, we have that brain, our reptilian brain, always going like, oh, what if I'm going to get hurt at all times? So I wonder what helped you, any mindset shifts, because it comes through to, in my mind, self-worth often, or confidence. What helped you the most in your journey to become the connector, to become like being out there, finding your community and helping others with this?
Yeah. So it's funny, again, for me, public speaking is so easy, but actually having a one-on-one conversation with someone is like I'm like that person that can't like make eye contact, but it was this thing where, again, when I started to do it with one person and realized when they showed this vulnerability and openness towards me, it was so nice. And then another thing that I know, and again, this is all personal development and it takes a while. I'm not going to say this is going to happen overnight. It definitely isn't. It was years of me being able to just kind of let go of things, but being vulnerable was a huge thing for me. I had never told anyone any of my life stories. Now Lauren, of course, like knows all of it. And I always held back from saying anything. And I'm not saying you have to go out and blurt out your entire life, but it's funny when you start kind of giving little tips or little tidbits of your life that, again, like burnout in my first business that looked so amazing to some people, that, how many people responded to that? And like you said, I burnt out too. That response was so empowering for me. Yeah. Like to see how many people were like, oh, me too. Like me too. Oh my God, how did you get through it? Or how did you walk away? Or I'm going through that right now. And I don't know how to step away because my business makes good money. And what happens if I don't make money and blah, 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 all these, the response was so empowering that I was like, well, I can't stop now. Like what I'm saying, even if it helps one person, and I can help one person feel this way and be able to change what they're doing, that was enough for me to keep going and keep adjusting myself and open up more and more and do more and more, which was, again, it wasn't overnight. I wasn't like DMing like 500 people in one day, but I was like, you know what? I talked to this girl. She came on my podcast. I'm gonna ask her if she wants to do a live stream. Yeah. Or I really liked her. Let me see if she wants to be a speaker at my summit, that kind of thing. And it was like, just slowly but surely until it became more and more and more. And now I connect with over 300 women in 13 plus countries. And it's like, it's
insane.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is so beautiful. I feel like we're finding that the power connection, there are studies actually that's showing that medically and physically we have to have the connection, otherwise we don't do well mental health wise, and if we don't do mentally well, we don't do physically well. So that's absolutely incredible that you found you kind of utilize your power and your own pain in a way, right? Your journey, your pieces of your journey, and we're able to create this. And now that you get to shine, you get connect others. And I think it's a beauty, right? Every time someone knows someone and you're a little piece of it and you watch them from the side, how they develop, and you just tell me behind the scenes how you see friendships unravel after your events and how people connect so well. It's beautiful. You're just like sitting there and thinking, I've done something good there. It's not the ego. I'm not talking about the ego being like happy there. It's just truly the beauty of the world, and you experience in the fulfillment more than just, 6-figure business or this, or I got a car. So I love that. Any specific, I talk about self-care a lot on the podcast. I feel like women like you probably have a good routine. And if you're not a routine person, I want you to tell me what works for you well to keep yourself in that high energy, to keep putting yourself out there, to keep connecting and building.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am someone that is, again, coming from the fitness industry and being a longtime athlete, like I've always been in routines. Routines are huge for me and it really keeps me stable. So I don't force routines on anyone, but I always say that if it helps you get into a flow that's going to help you become better, inner and outer, then you should do it. So I do work out 6 days a week, but I, as you just found out, I started playing soccer again in an adult soccer league because it's something that I really enjoy. I played for 20 years plus of my life before this. And, I was like, why am I not still doing this? This is something that I really enjoy. So I skip, today's the day I play tonight. And I skip now my workout day to implement that, something that I really enjoy. So I don't always say you have to work out every day, but I really do believe implementing some sort of movement, some sort of feeling that's going to make you feel better. It's going to help you. It's not about how you look. It's not about what the outside looks, because I'm telling you, I do yoga, I do soccer, I go to the gym a lot, and it just feels good for me. And personally, it's a therapy. It like gets me out. I don't know about you. You work at home, I'm sure. So like, it's like getting out of the house. Yeah. It's getting away from my computer. It's my therapy to be away and just think about the next set or the next ball or the next, movement in my yoga flow. Like, I'm not thinking about anything else. So yeah, I definitely believe in moving. And I do believe in, a healthy nutrition. I do believe that don't have to be perfect, but I do eat well. I eat, I'm an 80-20 girl. And I really do believe that making sure that you feed yourself. Again, my first business, I was barely like eating throughout the day. And I'm telling people, go eat 4 meals a day and go do this and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not even doing it for myself. So I eat my 4 to 5 meals a day. I really do like implementing. It makes me feel better. I don't have to drink coffee all day. I feel good inside. I have lots of energy, if you guys can't tell. So I just, I drink 1 cup of coffee. That's pretty much it a day. And that's because I do move, I do implement that. And I do work out at the same time every day. It is something that I implement just because it makes me feel good. So find what makes you feel good is what I say.
Yeah. And I feel like you want to do more of that, right? Whatever makes you feel good, even that I'm sure I can imagine how busy you get with business and growing and events. I'm glad you have time for yourself. I'm glad that you made it the priority. Again, there may be no time, but you made it the priority. I want to shift gears and talk about something I'm super pumped about, something you're super pumped about. So let's get into it. I want to talk about something that's coming up in your business, what it is, why is it so enticing? Because I totally got into it, just like cannot wait. Spill the tea, please.
Well, of course, the Abundant Entrepreneur Summit, this is 3.0. So this is our third one. It's coming January 27th through the 29th. Anya is one of our new speakers. So woo, I'm super excited for that. But like I said before, it is for female entrepreneurs. Whether you are aspiring or looking to up-level your business, this is the perfect event. We do a full day of personal development, a full day of business growth. And actually for our VIPs, we have these special workshops that you'll get to speak with some of the speakers and get to know them. But we implement everything. We have someone that's coming in to do breath work. We have someone that is going to be teaching you, of course, what Anya is going to be teaching you, all of that work-life balance. And we have some women that are also going to talk about, how to do your business management and how to do the online contracts. We have an online lawyer. We have branding. It's just an amazing event. And also we do icebreakers throughout the events. You can actually get to know other people and the speakers. So I do have the speakers, as many of them that can show up to these icebreakers and get to know someone. So at the end of your icebreaker, you actually get the information from the person that you spoke to, or the couple people. You'll get to speak to about 5 people in the icebreaker, and you'll get their information. So again, this is not for you to just look at. This is for you to actually connect with them. Don't just follow them on Instagram. I'm going to tell you guys too in my training to go connect with them, to go talk to them, to go reach out to them and set something up right away, whether that's a live podcast, just a chat, all that kind of stuff. So it's really about connecting as well and helping you guys find the community that you're looking for, that tribe, that support system.
Yeah. It made me think how many times I went to events and get someone's business card and never got to connect with them.
We've all done
Guilty.
it.
So I love that how you're hands-on, and this is an incredible event. I'm so honored and delighted to speak there and have some fun as well, because I feel like it's something unique. The power and the energy that I've experienced so far, just like gearing up to the event, it's incredible. The women, the speakers are phenomenal. I've got to connect with them as well. So I'm speaking from the experience, and just have you as our queen connector queen. I'm coming up with goofy names. I'm so excited, and I'm going to post the link in the show notes. If you're listening to this, you can grab your tickets. If you want to have more integration, tell me about the VIP days, because that's also a big part. And some people are just like, what is a VIP day? Am I a VIP?
Yeah, so the VIP obviously is an upgrade from the general admission price, but with the VIP, you first of all get unlimited access. You not only get access to this summit, but you'll actually get access to the trainings from the 2 previous summits. And we've had some crossover speakers and some different speakers in each of these summits, but every training has always been different, even from the speakers that have been here before. So we've actually gone from basics in like law to now you actually having your online contracts and being someone that is in business. You get all of that. Plus we have a VIP dinner on Friday night. This is about an hour and a half, and I know you're like dinner, but we actually send our VIPs a $15 gift card so you guys can grab dinner. You get a little time to do that before the last training, after the last training, and then also we all just kind of get in our pajamas, and we give you guys a cocktail in your ticket, with your ticket and everything, your welcome packet, so you get like a healthy cocktail and some healthy options as well, so that you can do that. And we hang out, we get to know each other, and it's absolutely amazing. And I think last time we like laughed, cried. I don't know. There was so many emotions that happened in that hour and a half. I was like, how is this happening? But then on top of that, you also get a VIP swag bag. There's so many things that come with the VIP. It's worth the upgrade, you guys. So the VIP swag bag actually has, I would say like every person has put at least 2, maybe 3 things in there. Some free offers, some discounts off their coaching, some discounts off of things that they're offering, as well as like free calls. I also have a few apps that I've sponsored with and a few different things that you'll get discounts or free months with that as well. Like a meditation and a journaling app is in there. So just the swag bag is worth like over $5,000, or actually probably more now. I haven't even added it up after all of you guys have added so many amazing things. And then the workshop that I spoke about on Saturday. VIPs are the only people that get to come on Saturday. And Saturday is some one-on-one time with some of the speakers, get to ask them your questions independently. Some of them will send out pre-worksheets so that you can work on them, so you can have like something to work on with them. So it's pretty cool. Like the VIP is general admission's amazing too, but you get so much more of an experience with that VIP group. And we also offer our VIPs later in the year a little group together. I've been wanting to make it in person, but that just hasn't
Not happening
come
yet.
together yet. But a free event where we all come together again and connect and talk about where we're at in business and start, you know, doing some different things and some exercises together that you guys will get. So it's pretty amazing. That's not booked yet. I was hoping again to make it in person, but it's not happening yet.
Yeah. No, it feels like even the dinner and the idea of dinner, right? How disconnected we are right now, right? And there are so many things, the beautiful things you shared about the event, but that piece also kind of stuck out for me because we are disconnected right now and we want to be together, but we can't really. Let's not talk about that.
I know, that's exactly it. I've been like talking about it, even asked the girls from the first event. I've been talking about a retreat. Like, we're going to take the VIPs to a retreat and anyone else that attended that wants to upgrade to a retreat. And I'm like, when are we going to be able to do that? So this VIP dinner gives us a little opportunity to kind of retreat it together.
No, that's amazing. I feel like, well, I definitely am going to make sure people know where to go to get your tickets now, because we're going to be closing, right? We're going to be closing. Oh, it's going to be closing.
Early bird is ending this week, you guys. So Monday is going to be like, so this weekend, pretty much. If you're here, this is probably not coming out till next week, but I will, if you guys listen to Anya's thing and reach out to us and you heard this late, I will still give you early bird pricing. Okay. But it is actually technically ending probably before this comes out. So if you reach out, you better be listening, listen to the end. And then obviously you'll get that early bird pricing. We'll be able to honor that for you.
Kamille, I'll be honest, I've been in so many events. I have not seen an event like this yet. So kudos to you. You've done
I'm so excited to have you.
Yes, me too. Last question. I'm going to put you in a spot. That's kind of like one rapid fire question. Do you have any weird habits or quirks you want to share with us?
Weird habits or quirks? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I have a lot. I'm definitely, I talk to my dog, like not just talk to him, like he's like my work buddy. So I talk through like situations with him sitting next to me.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, that's a new one. I know. Like he'll be sitting, it's not like I expect him to answer, but like he's sitting next to me and I'm like, okay, well, she wants me to do this. So yeah, there's that one.
She does not respond back?
No, I mean, I wish. That'd be really helpful.
That'd be nice, right? It's another kind of therapy that we have at home and have ability to do. Thank you so much. Honestly, you're such pleasure to talk to you and discuss these things that I feel like everybody is struggling but not speaking about enough. And I love to bring women like you in a podcast, so we actually start spilling the tea, start talking about these topics, because if we don't, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to change if we don't. So I appreciate you so much. It's been a pleasure to bask in your energy.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys.
Talk to you soon.